vocals. And when I finished, he said, "Next, here's your first track." So he worked like that. So it was incredible working with somebody that fast and that on it. And what a musician, man.
You did an exercise too at one point, didn't you? That you were writing like a song a day.
Yeah, I did a song a day for over 2 years.
That's incredible. That's like 700 songs.
I got 2,300 plus tunes, as a result. So at some point, I ended up doing it for 2 years because I got kind of addicted to it. I'm a little bit obsessive compulsive, but it's good muscle memory. Like, just pick up the guitar. I don't really have to preconceive anything. I just kind of show up, and there's a song waiting for me.
That's cool. I was telling Bill Palmer about it. He was on last week, and he's been doing a poem a day.
Oh, good for him.
Just as an exercise. I said, well, Sean did a song a day.
Yeah, I ended up with I think my record was like 5 songs one day. They just came out. I'm not saying they're all great, but there's some real gems in there.
Nice.
A couple things happened.
Nice.
So anyway, it's a song called "Angel Me."
Okay.
Here we go. All I know is the clock ticked so loud, shot the birds and colors, rippled and shrouds, and wonder when the silence became so loud. I see the clouds of a distant storm of the past, looking around us upon a looking glass. I run 100 miles, but you'll never pass. Lonely dove and dust, the desert heat. People shoot at the angels for their meat. This is a course I shall not eat. Angel, even when I can turn the wheel, the rubber spins and a blind man's healed. I'd rather harlots in the desert sun than drink the holy wine with the evil ones. Tongue is buried inside your barbecued heart, laying on the crook of a potter's shard, made only of vowels, the words are torn apart. I lie awake at night with the cactus needle for an eye and a knife for a nickel to steal, for some wax from your broken-hearted seal. Lonely dove in the dust, the desert heat. People shoot at the angels for their meat. This is a course I shall not eat. Angel meat. Even when I can turn the wheel, rubber spins and a blind man's healed. I'd rather harlots in the desert sun than drink the holy wine with the evil ones. Even when I turn the wheel, rubber spins and a blind man's healed. I'd rather harlots in the desert sun than drink the holy wine with the evil ones.
Woo! Beautiful.
Thank you. Woo. Thank you. Angel meat. It's like the crack pot, when somebody starts succeeding and everybody tries to pull them back into the boiling water.
Angel meat?
Yeah.
Cool. Sean, let's explore one of the first albums. I don't know if it was your first album. You probably had other albums, but what about the Floodplain, the one that with John Kurzweig? Because we had John Kurzweig on the show. And John Kurzweig, besides being a phenomenal guitar player and singer-songwriter, he was also a producer, and he produced the band Creed, as well as many other bands. But then he hooked into you and said that Floodplain album was every bit as good as anything that he ever did with Creed. And what was the experience working with John, and where did that album come from, and what are you doing with it?
Well, John, believe it or not, John was sitting at the Cowgirl 2 nights in a row with his wife, his ex-wife. And I knew who he was because somebody said, hey, that's this multi-platinum producer guy. So, I told the band, hey, put your beers away. and we're gonna put on a show.
Look civilized.
Look civilized at least, except for the drummer. That's
Okay.
not possible. But I'm just kidding. So we ended up playing 2 nights of original music, and he came both nights. The second night he showed up without his ex-wife, and he came up and started talking with me about, whether or not I'd written all the songs, because he felt like he'd heard them before. So long story short, he was looking for somebody to produce. After Creed and all the Puddle of Mud and all those records did really well, the industry fell apart completely. So he went from making a lot of money to produce records to almost crickets. And
Yeah.
so he was looking for somebody, grassroots kind of a guy like me. So he went all around the Southwest looking for bands and listened to everybody, and for some reason he picked me. And
That is one heck of an album, Floodplain. I mean,
It was a
that
killer
was a
record.
rockin' album.
It was a killer record. Somebody at a radio station in Chicago recently told me that they put it up with next to Physical Graffiti as
Wow.
being their favorite record.
Nice.
That's-
Yeah.
But John Kurtz is a genius, and that record turned out beautifully. It's still 10 years later. It still stands up.
So after that album, what did you do? There was another album, right? Was that the Malcolm Burns album?
Yeah, that was the Malcolm
next?
Burn record that I went and did next.
Okay, and that had a different feel to it. John kind of put that rock and Creed and the other album was more pure songwriting, I felt.
Yeah, Floodplain was more kind of epic Western rock. It was its own thing. It was a real honor to hear John say that he thinks that's his best work, and I do think it is his best work.
Yeah.
Malcolm Burn was a blast. I wanted to go do something like Angel Meat. I wanted to get some of these darker tunes out of me and into the world. And working with Malcolm Burn was he's the guy.
Yeah.
What a treat. I mean, when I first talked to him, he said, I don't care if you're Bruce Springsteen. If you don't write a good song, I will not work with you.
How does somebody get your music, Sean? Like somebody wants to pick up one of your albums, what's the best way to find you?
Go to SeanHealenMusic.com or come up and talk to me. I've got CDs for sale, and it's got all my contact information on there. Or you can go to CD Baby or iTunes, Pandora, any of those places.
You kind of go through stages. I've known you a long time of playing out a lot and then kind of pulling back and not playing out as much. I saw you at the ski basin a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it was a blast. I loved that.
You were having fun up there.
I keep the ski basin gig as long as they'll have me, because I love that gig. It's just fun. Getting hauled up on a snow machine and playing your butt off at 10,500 feet is a ball.
And you do house concerts, and I saw you out in Galisteo. You were doing some stuff out there.
Yeah, mostly house concerts, private stuff. I told the bars to go away. No more bars. I'm not playing bars anymore. They can't pay me enough to even haul my instrument there. No offense.
Yeah.
I did like a 23-year run at the Cowgirl.
Have you noticed any difference in the Santa Fe music scene, the bars? And
Bars are dying. The nightlife is dying, and I think it should. This is not a town that's going to support that. And musicians
support the late nightlife?
Yeah, and I just don't think it's going to happen. This is an older community. I don't think people are really that into going out. My favorite show and favorite slot and biggest draw is Sunday afternoon from 4 to 6 or 4 to 7. Because you can bring your kid, you can bring your dog, you can do whatever. And bring whatever you want to drink. If you don't want to drink, you want to bring some whatever.
And that would be the house concert type of thing?
Yeah, house concert and private shows. So just private ticket price. Come on down.
We are talking with Sean Healen. We're going to have another song when we come back. You're listening to ARTFusion, the Art Music Radio Show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM KTRC and 103.7 FM. Hang on, we'll be right back. Whatever you want. Yeah. I was going to talk about the house concert.
Which one?
Yeah, Brent Jessica's.
Well, she just didn't want her.
Okay.
You have to RSVP to get the invite.
How would people know about that?
Facebook.
Facebook.
Yeah, I've invited
Jessica
her.
Piccoli.
Yeah. With Jessica Pickle or Brent O'Connor.
Brent O'Connor.
I make everybody admins on the show, so it's really easy to
Okay. You can do the rocking song or you can wait for the next one? Do the last. Yeah, that'd be great. Is it working?
Yes, so this phone is working.
Can you tell if my friend Steve Evans is attached to it?
Let's see. It's on. You can say hi.
Hi, Steve. Sean and I have a mutual friend, Steve Evans, that I went to first grade with, who's an attorney in Phoenix, and he's a big Sean Healen fan, so we connected this morning, and he wanted to see how he could see the show, and I said, well, look at Facebook Live, you know, you can watch it from Phoenix, from your law office, while you're charging someone $300 an hour.
Double duty. That's called double duty. That's fine. Amen.
Not that Steve Evans is not worth $300 an hour.
Steve is awesome.
Ready, Sean? Sure. And we are back. You're listening to ARTFusion, the art music radio show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM KTRC and 103.7 FM, Santa Fe News Talk Leader. Just want to remind people the expoartisan.com, which is the website for the big show that we do at Buffalo Thunder, September 25th through 28th, is probably, most likely, with everything going right, going to be going live next week. And we have over 100 art workshops with over 50 different instructors that come from all over the world to teach. And we have 86 vendor booths that are selling art supplies at incredible prices at Buffalo Thunder. But the workshop part is going to start taking registration next week. So that's expoartisan.com. Check it out. It's a lot of fun. We got Sean Healen here. And what do you got going on, Sean?
I got a show coming up, which is a private show, but if you go on Facebook and look for it, you'll find it. All you have to do is RSVP to get the invite, but it's at a new place called Ute 66.
Ute 66.
Yeah, some friends of mine are huge music fans, and they've decided to open up their venue. I've done house concerts there, but now he's got this huge shop and a stage, and it's really cool.
Nice.
But I'm doing a show on the 22nd of February with the guy that I started songwriting with. His name is Peter Donegan. His dad is the Lonnie Donegan, if you guys remember him. Big deal. He just received a Lifetime Achievement Award in the UK on behalf of his father the other night. It was pretty heartfelt.
And how did you connect with him?
We met. I got invited to. This is just crazy. I got invited to go to the inaugural Buddy Holly Songwriters Retreat last fall, and
This was the one that J-Boy called you up last minute?
J-Boy called me last minute, said we need a songwriter here, and they said you're it. You can make it. So I met a lot of people there. They were all ringers, all incredible. I got to write with Peter Donegan, Mark Nevin, Beth Nielsen Chapman, and I wrote a tune, which is an unbelievable song. It was just huge. So great connections.
Is it different for you writing with other people than it is when you're out because you live out in the middle of nowhere. I've been out to your place and it's just absolutely beautiful. You're out in nature and you're in solitude.
I like solitude.
But when other people, is it a different process for you?
Different process every time. Writing with Beth was different because her and I are both very kind of strong-willed people when it comes to, at least I want the bench to be at a certain level. I don't want to be involved with anything that I don't like. And she's very much like that. So we got along famously. Same thing with Peter and everybody else I wrote with. A girl named Tessie Lou Williams. You got to hear her, man.
That was in Lubbock, Texas.
That was in Lubbock,
right?
Texas, yeah. So we were there for a week, and the idea is you get placed randomly with different people that are at the songwriters retreat, and you have to write a song that day and then perform it at a venue that night. So the first night we played at the Buddy Holly Museum. The second night, where did we play? This place called Art Canyon, one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen in Texas. What a venue. Wow. And then the last night we played at Buddy Holly's auditorium at his high school. That wasn't the last night. The very last night, then we all performed at the Cactus Theater with Alejandro Escobedo and Kimmy Rhodes. And
it's kind of funny how much talent has come out of Lubbock, Texas. I mean, it's crazy.
Stupid amounts. I mean, I can't even say it in anything. Go to Texas and listen to these guys perform. They will blow your mind.
Wow. Why don't you give us another song, Sean? What you got going on there?
It's a happy little tune called Silent Pictures. On account that the birds are blocking the sun, have to tie their wings to the end of my gun. While you're busy playing, lose and find and shun, the dogs have won. Blood tastes like butter on a hot summer day. 100 dead crows and rows in the shallow grave. You got your rosy eyes set free to all the slaves except for one. I see your lonely silent picture and its yellow tone. I don't know where to set the rose's thorn. Open mouth so the bees can make air. Take all your clothes off, set fire to your hair. When it's burned off shines, you tell me you don't care, that you don't care. I see a lonely silent picture and its yellow tone. I don't know where to set the ashes of the rose's thorns. I see a lonely silent picture and its yellow tone. Don't know where to set the ashes. I don't know where to set the ashes. 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 Don't know where to set the ashes.
Woo.
Nice. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Grazie.
So Shelly, I have to ask you a question. Someone that writes as prolifically as you do, that can write over 300 songs in 1 year, do you have favorite songs that you like stick in your brain, that like if someone asked you on the spot to play that you pick out of all the other songs? Is there any songs that have stuck out like that, or you just keep going?
I just kind of keep going. There are a few though. I learned a while ago that I better start playing the ones that are getting the most radio play, because I've had countless people come up when I play Sister Sister and say,
Sister, Sister.
"Wow, what a great cover!" And they don't even know that I wrote it. That's a lack of marketing on my part. So songs like Sister Sister, I need to play. The stuff that's gotten the most radio play, I have been playing again.
You've been getting a lot of radio play, and that I think people don't realize how hard it is as a musician to actually get stuff on the radio. It's not easy.
It's not easy. I think KBAC did their Desert Island disc rewind, and I went in there one day and Ira Gordon had this poster for me, and he said, "Hey, I got something for you. You came in over the last 20 years. You came in at number 505."
505.
Isn't that funny?
That's
New
pretty,
Mexico.
yeah.
So out of the 981 songs, I was at 505, and I was one of the only local artists that had been played for 20 years.
Wow.
And Sister Sister came in at 505. That'd been played for almost 8 years. More spins. Amazing.
Why don't you talk about that radio program? Are you going to do something else with Hutton, or you did a whole year of it, and that was a new song every week?
New song every week. Chris told me he misses it. We might talk about doing it again. I'm not sure if I have the time to do it.
Okay.
I'm trying to take my music eastward, so I'll be doing a lot more stuff in Texas, and then if we can work everything out, I'll be doing shows in the UK, hopefully this summer.
And when you were at the ski base, and you had who's on drums for you?
Rich Reed played.
Is that your new band? Is it, or you play with different people?
Well, I usually play with Bjorn Hamry and David Lee Rodriguez, who, by the way, my bass player, put out his first record this year and got a nomination for a Latin Grammy right out of the chute. He's a great musician.
Wow.
Fabulous songwriter and singer. But we played with Rich Reed, and I'd never played with Rich before, and it was a pleasure. So Rich is definitely getting a phone call, because Bjorn moved to Taiwan.
Do you like playing in the band setting, solo? Where does your preference go?
Both. I like both.
Uh-huh.
I like solo a lot. If it's a bigger, or smaller venue, it doesn't matter to me. I just feel the intimacy. I like that.
You still writing as prolifically as you were?
I'm going back through the pile and finishing up stuff or changing stuff, kind of mining for diamonds for my next project. I probably won't do a full release. For example, the new 52, I put them all 52 radio soaps and all 52 tunes on a flash drive, a little custom flash drive that I had engraved.
Okay.
And so I'll probably be releasing music that way. So if you buy the flash drive, maybe you'll get all my singles for the year or whatever. But I'm hoping that J. Boy Adams and I are going to do a record this year.
Everything has changed with the music scene as far as like CDs. Cars don't even have CD players.
We have 2
coming out
USB
now.
ports, man. It's like, what do I do with that?
So like I know you do the card thing too, right? That people can download
Download
a
cards,
code and but I mean everything in the music industry has changed like dramatically, because it used to be that CD sales when you went out were like a major part of the revenue that you had as a performer, and now, you know, half the young people, they don't even have a CD player, so.
It's true. So these flash drives have been kind of a hit. I hear a rumor that there's going to be a little Bluetooth flash drive available soon, where it's just wireless, so you can just airdrop it basically like I'm on a Mac.
We are talking with Sean Healen. You are listening to ARTFusion, the Art Music Radio Show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM KTRC and 103.7 FM. Hang on, we'll be right back.
By the way, if anybody wants to buy a CD, I got them for sale.
CDs for sale.
There are two of the finest CDs you'll hear, I promise. They're not coasters. I also have a couple flash drives left from the new 52. So there's 52 songs on there. There's also a song I wrote called Willie Nelson Mandela, which if you've heard it on the radio yet, I guarantee you'll laugh and you've never heard anything like this before.
And that's on your 52, isn't it?
That's on the new 52, and I have the official release on there, and then a bunch of pictures of me doing.
That's the
some
one
pictures.
that you just start naming everybody's name and.
Yeah, my favorite line in it is Steve McQueen Latifah. So what I do is I pair all the people from history, literature, art, music that I like into one song and type their names together in somewhat clever fashion. It's a really funny tune. I've had people come up and they've told me about the song, not knowing that I've done this, so that's my tune. So
John Morris told me about it. He heard it on the radio.
somebody came up and was telling me at the ski base, "Man, have you heard this song, Willie Nelson Mandela?" I said, "Yeah, I wrote it." Like, "No, you didn't." I said, "Yeah, I did." And it's what we were talking about. People don't know what they love what they know. And you just never know what's going to resonate with people. But it's some silly tune like this, people are just eating it up. You know? And then I play something that hopefully makes them cry that next.
Are the songs that you're singing today, do you have some of those on your CDs?
Yeah, Angel Meat is on the one I did with Malcolm Byrne. It's called Crown of Cold. That is a deep, deep, deep record. I charted,
That's a really good.
I think I was number 28 on the Jam Band site for like 3 weeks. It's the only time I've ever charted. But he put me up between, I'm not bragging, but he put me up between Bob Dylan and Emmylou Harris on his website for a year as his favorite songwriter, which was huge for me. I got over 1 million hits on my record, or on my website, and a lot of downloads out of that. So that's been my best-selling record so far, Chronicle. It's dark.
So Sean, we're on the last section. So what we'll do on this one is we'll take it out with this song. So we'll just kind of start. Is there any areas that we haven't touched on that you?
I don't think so.
Just like get back into your painting just a little bit.
Sure.
And explore that, and then
I love being on this show.
jump on the
I think this is like my third or fourth visit to this show, I think.
You were I think the
I was
first
the
one.
very first
Art Fusion.
It's very first ARTFusion guy.
Way back when we were recording it at Hutton Broadcasting in that little room.
Oh man, that was fun.
It's been over 3 years. It's crazy.
Good Lord, man. This is
Time
radio.
flies.
Radio takes huge production chops. It just does. I don't know if people realize that, but it's even a 10-minute show kicked my butt last year. Because got to make it perfect.
This is one of the few shows I didn't have to prepare because I know you so well. So
Well, I'm happy to know you. Ron and I have been good friends for a really long time now.
I gotta I'll tell the story when we come back.
Oh yeah, do it. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out with us today.
And we are back. You're listening to ARTFusion, the Art Music Radio Show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM KTRC and 103.7 FM, Santa Fe News Talk Leader. We are talking with Sean Healen and listening to Sean Healen, and a lot of people know Sean from all the music that he's done, but if you look at our Facebook Live, you can see some of the artwork that he's done, and I think people don't realize that he actually went to art school in Chicago, and that was a part of his life that was kind of developing along with your music and all that, and now you've kind of gotten back into it, because I was out at your house, I can't even remember when, last summer, and
Yeah, for my birthday.
and yeah, for your birthday.
My 50th.
Your 50th birthday.
Yeah, that was the last.
Came fast, didn't it?
It did, man. 50 comes quick. Better have fun.
Wait till you hit 60.
That's a speed limit.
I got to tell a Sean Healen story too. Is Sean, we at our house, my wife and I do house concerts occasionally, and we were doing a house concert way back when, and Sean was playing, and just didn't realize, Karen didn't realize that Sean was her chemistry partner way back at St. Michael's High School. Because I don't know what you were like back then, but obviously you were doing music, obviously.
I was a loner doing music. I mean, we were playing the parties. We weren't partying at the parties. We were playing the parties. But I was
You were a loner in high school?
Oh yeah, St. Mike's was tough. We moved here from Montana, and being the non-Hispanic kid at St. Mike's at the time was a little rough on the white kids, and they let you know it. So
Yeah.
it was just one of those things. It was a different time.
Karen, my wife's a loner too.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
Two loners got together in chemistry.
we were forced to do chemistry class together, but I didn't realize that was Karen. I didn't even recognize her.
Yeah.
Of course, then it clicked, and she showed me a dorky picture in the yearbook.
That's crazy.
Yeah, pretty funny.
So your artwork, Sean, now, your average day, I mean, you live out in the middle of nowhere towards Las Vegas, and you're out in a beautiful area surrounded by cliffs and mountains and stuff, and you get up in the morning, you're pursuing your music and your art to make a living.
Yes.
I mean, and what's an average Sean Healen day?
Fire, coffee, look at the guitar.
Yeah?
If I grab the guitar, there's a song, or I'll go work on a painting. I've got this old step ladder that I've converted into this big easel that's going to be able to accommodate some pretty massive canvases. So at some point I'm going to dig in and do another round.
Are your paintings acrylic, oil? What is
Acrylic. I learned early on that oils were not for me for a couple of reasons. I was real messy with them. And I remember going to a doctor who said I had some kidney damage, probably from the oil paints. Because I would not only get my hands in it, I'd get my arms in it. I was like way into messing
You're
stuff.
not supposed to eat that stuff.
No, you're not.
They have warnings
it
on the
tastes
little
great.
tubes.
It tastes great, but so acrylic because it's quick. I like to do stuff quickly. So a song, if I can get a song done in 10 or 15 minutes, I'm a happy guy.
Do you have an idea when you sit down with your guitar, like in songwriting, everybody attacks it different, songwriters do. Some people get a lick and they do the song. Some people, it's the riff that comes in their head. When you sit down with your guitar, how do you start the process?
I just pick it up. I usually have a capo nearby. I like to mess with tunings, so I've been playing 9 different tunings, which helps me hear something. I remember every melody I've ever come up with, which is odd. I remember the melodies, I don't remember the words, so it's more about the melodic structure first. So I'll just grab a guitar, detune it, and start working on something. There's usually something that pops into my mind or something I wrote the day before. I have a list of probably 4,000 different song titles. Just over the years, I'll come up with a song title and I'll throw it in the file.
Do you record when you're working on something? Do you record on your phone, or you record it?
I have a Pro Tools setup at home, so
Okay.
I'll just record right in. Once the song's fleshed out, or I think it's 90% there, I'll go and record it so I don't lose it. I've lost one song that I thought was brilliant. I woke up, I dreamt this tune. I woke up, started making breakfast, and I forgot it. And I just wanted to, I felt like I had committed the worst sin possible.
Because you forgot.
Because I got this great gift in this song. It was an entire song, dreamt it, which has happened several times.
You wake up and you dreamt the song?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and unfortunately my poor wife, she, there's like Sharpie on the wall and stuff from, half asleep and writing crap.
What about your visual art side? Like when you attack a painting, do you know what you're going to do when you sit down?
Nope. It presents itself. It shows up. Stuff shows up. I don't know if it's good or bad. It just is. So I don't really judge what I'm doing. I think that's most artists fail when they start judging or thinking that they need to achieve something that might not be achievable, or it's going to turn into something that's its own achievement.
And I think that's part, like when you were telling me about writing a song a day as a songwriter, I think that to me is an exercise of putting away the critical voice, because it's like you can't write a song a day and finish a song if you're judging every word and every thing that you're doing. You got to just let it flow, right? And you get in the zone and do that.
Most people get locked up, and I don't believe in writer's block. You either write or you don't. You're a writer or you're not. That's your own misgiving. That's your own roadblock that you're creating for yourself.
Yeah.
Most people sit there and pore over the perfect word or the perfect rhyme, and no, it's not so much about that. It's about capturing the essence of the moment. Like Malcolm Burns said, next, first song I played for him, and he was wiping tears from his eyes, and he said, that is just beautiful. You'll never play it better in your lifetime. So I learned a lot about immediacy from working with Byrne. Whereas working with Kurtzwig, I learned a lot about meticulousness. Now, I will say this for John Kurtzwig, he'd just come off of making mountains of money producing. He
Yeah.
wanted to put out his best record ever. And at the time, I didn't quite understand why he was being so meticulous.
Uh-huh.
And now I know, because 10 years later, that record's still getting radio play all over the planet.
Well, Sean, thank you so much for coming back on the show. It's
Thanks for
always
having
great
me.
to
What an
fellowship,
honor.
and we got time for one more song. And back in Aldea about 5 years ago, our band was playing when Sean was playing, and somehow we connected, and I got to play cajon to Sean Healen song. So I'm going to jump on that cajon.
Jump
and
on that cajon,
I'm
man.
going to back you up,
The
man.
world's smallest drum set. This is a song called Unnatural Disaster. It's just a little bit of a stomp. We've all met an unnatural disaster in our lives.
Yes.
And you might even meet more. The sinister rose and it goes the door. However you found me, you left me a broken stone. The sinister hits and you ruby lips. While you were launching the boats, you were also sinking the ship. Oh, beautiful girl, an unnatural disaster. Went down to hell and you got expelled. You put some doubt in the devil and his evil well. When you went up to heaven, it only took 7 minutes. You brought the anger of Jesus, now he's human again. Oh, beautiful girl, an unnatural disaster. Go find your pretty rose, turn it into a prisoner. The velvet hands of a ghost, the velvet hands of a sinister rose, and frozen thorns. However you found me, you left me a broken stone. Oh, beautiful girl, the natural disaster. Oh, beautiful girl, an unnatural disaster.
That was Mr. Sean Healen. Thank you, Sean, for coming and sharing your art and sharing your music.
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure to be around you. You're listening to ARTFusion, the Art Music Radio Show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM KTRC. We'll be back next week.
Thank you for being here.